Hey! Okay, so it's Ti from Snowflake Crochet, and today we're going to be making the freaking awesome Bowie beanie. So let me just put it on so you guys could see it. How awesome is that? Look. So we're going to be making this today. Let's put this Bowie beanie aside because we're going to make our own. Grab your yarn if you haven't unwrapped it as yet. Go ahead and do so. And we're going to begin by making an essential knot for crocheting. Okay, this is called a slip knot. So you're just trying to leave a long enough tail that you could weave in at the end. So we're going to have that shorter portion here. We're going to hold it between our thumb and our index, wrap it over our middle finger, back to the side of our index finger, to the back of our middle and index, grab it, and there you have it. It's a slip knot. Okay, so we're going to tighten that a little bit on our needle, and the first thing that we're going to do is chains. Okay, needle, and we're going to hook it underneath and twist it and pull it through. Take the needle, hook it underneath, twist, pull through, hook, twist, pull through. Okay, and we're going to try to make as much chains that's necessary to make the hat long enough and wide enough. The 25 chains in total that I'll be using for the teen hat is 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. And this is going to be the length for your hat. And you can see it still has some more stretch, so you'll be okay if have a lot of hair or afro or something like I do. Now that you've got your chains, we're just going to start with a single crochet. The reason why I do the single crochet after the chains is really to achieve a better seam after we sew it up. So we're going to start the single crochet in the second stitch or second chain from the hook. So this does not count as one chain. This is our first chain right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to insert our hook into that chain through the top loop. So we're going to insert our hook, grab the yarn, we're going to yarn over, and we're going to pull through the two loops. Okay, so push through the top loop, grab that yarn, wrap it around your hook, twist and pull through. This stitch right here, this chain that we made when we did the slip knot, just make sure that you do get it. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing, push through, pull up the yarn, yarn over, twist and pull through. Okay, so that's the end of our single crochet. And just to quickly check yourself to make sure that you do have the right amount of single crochets or any stitch that you're doing after the chains, just kind of, you see these V's that you'll see when you turn your work a little bit. These V's, you're supposed to have one less than the amount of chains that you started with. So if you started with 30, you're supposed to have 29. Okay, we started our chain with 25, so we're supposed to have 24 V's. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay, and that's just a quick way to check to make sure that you are doing your project correctly and you are making the correct amount of single crochets. Okay, we're gonna do the fancy stitch, the herringbone stitch. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn our work. So basically flip it around. You're gonna see this fancy stitching, and this is gonna be facing you, right? We're gonna take that yarn, we're gonna pull it around our hook, so yarn over, and we're just gonna pull through that loop. The reason why we do that is to just make sure that we have the right amount of height to continue on our stitches, and just so that our stitches come out straight, okay? So to start the stitch of the herringbone, we're gonna yarn over, we're gonna insert our hook into this is our first stitch under the V. We're gonna insert the hook, pull that yarn through, and the same yarn that we pulled through, we're gonna pull it through again through that first loop. Then we're gonna yarn over and pull it through both loops. Okay, so let's try that again. So we're gonna yarn over, push that hook through, and you notice when we yarn over, there's the two loops that we're referring to prior to. So when we pull that loop through, we're gonna have 3 loops. But this loop, we're gonna pull that loop through the second loop, and then yarn over again and pull it through both. So yarn over, push through, pull again through that second loop, yarn over and pull through both. I'm going to continue doing the same steps until you reach your desired length. So for teen, we want to make sure that lengthwise, continuing this chain, we're going to measure out to 20 inches without it being stretched or pulled. So we want to continue doing the same chain, 20 inches for teen. I know for an adult it's about 21 to 22 inches. And then we'll put back up and we'll seam it together and we'll finish up our hat. Look how pretty this is, and we're almost done. It's just a few more steps and you'll have your hat. So what we're going to do is kind of measure to see how long our hat is. So I know for a teenager you kind of want it to be at 20 inches. Right now I have 19, but that's okay. So we're ended with last row of single crochets, and remember, it's just inserting your hook into that stitch, pulling through, yarn over, and pull through. When you get to the end of the single crochet, what you're going to do is just close it off by pulling the long end in through the loop. Okay? And in crocheting we just call it fastening off. Okay? So you want to tug on the shorter end a bit to tighten that, but then also tug on the long end to get a long enough tail so that we could weave through both the sides and the top to close it. Okay, so I'm gonna have my tail about 4 feet just to be careful. Better safe than sorry. Okay, so after you've cut your tail, you kind of just want to fold it over the eye of the needle and just kind of like you're starting a fire, but you're not gonna do that. But you know, just kind of rub it back and forth a little bit, then hold it there, pull it out, and just slide that needle right onto your yarn, and that's it. And that's how you thread a thick needle into the eye of your yarn. So right now we're gonna close the sides first, and then we're gonna work on the top. Okay. Now that we have the sides all nicely seamed up, we're just gonna work on the top portion. And this is how I close 99, well, this is how I close all my hats. So you're in for a treat because this method is amazing. So just as a side note, whatever side you're sewing on is going to be the inside of your hat. So just make a mental note of that. So if you see like one side is a little bit, you know, not as perfect, just make sure that you're folding over with that side showing so that when you flip it over, the good side is showing. But anyways, we're gonna start on the top. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the needle in and out at the very top of your project, about 1 centimeter apart. Look at that, okay? And the way I double ensure that this is not gonna come apart, I just kind of go back and forth in the middle. That you need a long enough tail to weave in, so we're gonna thread this end. I like to weave in the end where I sewed the hat together, okay? So remember at the sides we sewed it together, I like to weave it in down that area. So I just kind of push it through the little loops right here. And pull it through. I'll just tug on that a little bit, okay? That way you could cut right there. You can't even tell. Flip that hat around, and booyah! Look at that. We just made our Bowie beanie. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope that it helped you create your very own Bowie beanie. And it turns out just as good, if not better. If you're gonna share your work on social media, tag me. Hashtag Snowflake Crochet and let me see what you're doing. Head on over to my blog for more updates on new projects and subscribe. That way you could keep up with the classes and you can learn a little thing or two. Okay? Bye!